We watched the tape last week. What you think?
Last week's game?
Yeah.
Not very good. Not very good up front. And I think we had a combination of things going on. We had a couple guys in there that obviously was their first time to ever play in a college football game, first time for this group to play together. And with different guys, it was kind of a different set of factors. I had a couple of guys, I think, at times that were just a little bit awestruck with the whole situation, just being in their first college game, played nervous, played a little bit hesitant, and just, you know, didn't really ever cut it loose. Had a couple of guys that were just the opposite, were like at times overly aggressive and out of control, which isn't any good either. I would certainly rather have that than the other, because I can teach and coach that if a guy wants to give great effort. But in the offensive line, I always tell the guys, you got to start the block under control, then finish it mad. But you can't go mad from the very start and just try to knock somebody's head out, because you get overextended and you wind up just missing people. So we had a number of things going on.
Is there any possibility of any changes in the lineup this week?
Well, I don't know that there would be any change this week necessarily, but what I always tell the guys is, hey, you got to earn your position every week, and there's ongoing competition. I told them all a number of different stories this week about situations I've had in the past where we started off a season and something happened with a guy and didn't perform well, and he finally got to the point where it just pissed me off enough that he was done right in the middle of a game, never to be heard from again. And he was a fifth-year senior that had started 4 years and missed the last half of his senior year because he wasn't playing hard and wasn't playing well. Had some other situations where I had some young guys that weren't quite ready at the beginning of the season, but as the season progressed, they became ready and outperformed some other guys who I think just felt like they were entitled to positions. And I'm not saying that's going on here, but I wanted to just make sure that they were aware of some of the different things that can happen. And you know, I think everybody's got to know, if you don't perform on Saturdays, then there are always other options.
Do you anticipate? Is that for you as an old defensive tackle, that particularly bothersome to people to be able to line up and run the ball on you?
Oh, it's always bothersome, because, you know, to run the football on a defense, it's kind of like challenging your manhood. And when somebody, you know, when somebody just basically takes it and stuffs it down your throat, it's just like coming in your house and beating you up in front of your family, you know, and you take it personal, especially as a D-line coach, because it all starts up front. You know, those are my guys, and I tell my defensive line that the ball comes by us first. We had the first opportunity to make the play. If you get behind us, it's our fault. So, you know, I think they're going to take ownership of it, and I think they understand the importance of being physical and basically just being strong up front.
I know you don't coach Parkey, but just talk about the game he had from your perspective, just the things he did kicking those balls off.
It was huge because, you know, I'm involved with the kickoff team. We all have a different spot on that, so it does help us when our guys can cover when he's kicking out the back of the end zone. All of us can cover kicks if he does that, you know, not to worry about it put out there. But it is a big weapon, and then if you notice, even he grew up. The first kick wasn't very good. I mean, he basically shanked it. But the rest of them, and that's why we always talk about, guys, there's no substitute for experience. Once he got that first one out of his system and was able to just fall into the game play, he was kicking it deep, and obviously there's a 10% chance or maybe 13% chance, depending on whether you do NFL or college, that a team can start from the 20-yard line and methodically walk down the field without making a mistake. Most teams are going to jump off sides, have a penalty of holding or throw an interception or fumble it. Just don't air, much less when you have defense out there. So those chances of them scoring obviously decrease the further they are back in there. So that's big. And when we talk about our guys trying to keep that ball inside the 20 on the kickoff team, so that was big to see. He makes it easy for us to coach that kickoff team, I can tell you that.